Hello everyone and welcome back to the brand new Jurassic World Dominion official Trailer 2 breakdown. The second trailer has finally arrived and along with it came loads of new details and Easter eggs that you may have missed throughout this trailer. If you've been following this channel for a couple months now, you would have known that I made a similar video, a full trailer breakdown on trailer 1 back in February. And if you happen to have missed that and want to check out some more details regarding Jurassic World Dominion, feel free to go over to that video and check it out because it took me 12 hours to make and it was a very long time. Let's just hope that this one's slightly shorter, shall we say. I mean, it's already taken me 3 hours to script this whole bloody thing. Before today's breakdown, we're primarily focusing on all of the new footage that was shown throughout this trailer. So anything from TV spots that we've been getting recently will just be shoved to a side and similar scenes to what we saw in the previous trailer as well. But when we do approach scenes like that, I will mention why I've decided to not talk about them. But if you're excited for Jurassic World Dominion, press that subscribe button if you haven't yet done so, and when you do, press the bell notification as well so you don't miss an upload. And because pressing that bell notification means that you will not miss an unboxing of this brand new exclusive Jurassic World Dominion box. What's inside? You'll find out once we get the video uploaded eventually. But for the time being, let's break down this official Trailer 2 for Jurassic World Dominion. The trailer opens up with a slightly alternate scene of the TV spot that we got the other day after an NBA game. We continue to see the log cabin that Owen was building from Fallen Kingdom, with Maisie helping cut logs before they hear recognizable sound. We then see Owen fixing his bike, which has the same registration plate that his original bike from Jurassic World had. A nice attention to detail to focus on. It's also worth noting that it shows that the bike has been registered in August of 2022, so I can only assume that's the time frame we're working with. This is the first on-screen confirmation that we have that Jurassic World Dominion takes place in the year of 2022 within the Jurassic verse. We're then greeted with previous shots we see from the other trailer before hearing Maisie speak for the first ever time in this movie, explaining how it's impossible for Blue to have a baby. Which, thanks to Camp Cretaceous Season 3, we know isn't the case. It is very possible for Blue to pathogenically reproduce a clone of herself. And then we have an outstanding shot of baby Beta, with Maisie voiceovering saying how she looks exactly like her mother. Something that Maisie learns about herself in Fallen Kingdom, which makes this scene even more touching and heartwarming, knowing that she's not alone. Another cinematic scene of Beta learning to hunt is shown before we then cut to her sniffing out a dead fox, which ends up being a trap. Owen is out looking for the raptor before spotting baby Beta being stolen. If we pause at the right time, we can see one specific character. Now, this could be Scott Hayes' Reign Delacourt, but I've never seen Scott Hayes with long hair, so it's really hard to tell. Either way, this dude seems to look very similar to someone later in the trailer releasing the Allosaurus. It seems like these guys are contractors and don't have a set job, but instead job hop to get paid. One of their missions must have been to capture baby Beta for Biosyn. This next shot alludes to us to believe that these contractors came from the state of Texas, with the number plate on the back of the truck reading out 38A-E07. Unfortunately, there aren't any Easter eggs referring to that number plate. A few frames later, we can see that Owen is running after the vehicle after appearing from behind a school bus, so he does make an attempt to get baby Beta back. Next up, we see some simply fantastic CGI work with Blue, where she appears extremely angry towards Owen for not looking after Beta. Owen then makes a promise to get Beta back to Blue later in the movie. Blue then lashes out at Owen, leaving an open wound on the palm of his hand. That must have hurt much more than he showed. Now, this next scene must be the best looking scene out of any movie of the Jurassic franchise. We see a Quetzalcoatlus soaring above the buildings of Manhattan, New York, with the One World Trade Center building in display with the Hudson River also in the background. What really makes me stunned is that in this scene, there's not just one Quetzalcoatlus, but there's two. We can see one of them flying and the other one nesting on top of the trade center, cleaning her wings. It just goes to show the sheer size of this creature. Something that flew that was bigger than a giraffe. A slightly extended shot of the Mosasaurus is seen before we then once again hear Dr. Wu claiming that we have made a terrible mistake. This could be a reference towards Biosyn creating the giant locust that we've seen in my previous videos, or it could be something genetically that has gone wrong. He's also discussing this to Maisie, who is in fact a clone, so maybe her DNA is very important to fixing this mistake. Another aesthetically pleasing scene has us look at a hiker walking up on some hills whilst a couple of Ankylosauruses graze on the grass. Unfortunately, I can't quite make out if one of these is bumpy or not, but I'm sure we'll see her eventually. We then see the shot that was only seen in the cinema-only prologue of the Gallimimuses, before having a Sinoceratops absolutely obliterate an incoming vehicle. There's no way that anyone inside that vehicle survived this. For some reason, this area seems to be filled with loads of ceratopsians, the Sinoceratops, the Nasutoceratops, and the Triceratops. After this, an overlapping discussion has Ian Malcolm claimed that the Doomsday Clock may be out of time. Now, he says this as himself, Ellie Sattler, and Alan Grant, alongside a newcomer Ramsey Cole, leave a building with the Biosyn logo on it. Clearly this is under ownership of Biosyn, but what type of building is it? Well, Ian Malcolm seems to be wearing his same clothes that we saw him wear whilst giving a speech back in trailer 1. So maybe this scene takes place after his speech, trying to plead with Biosyn to stop something, either creating dinosaurs, giant locusts, or something to do with genetic health. Honestly, I have no clue how or why Ramsey Cole would be here besides the fact that he's working with and for Biosyn. Maybe this is one of his first ever appearances in the movie. After this, we get another scene of the TV spot we did a breakdown for, so I won't discuss too much about it other than say how the building isn't abandoned like we originally thought. There are actually people there. The next sequence shows off a truck that has crashed into a wall where guns are pointed at the vehicle. Could this be the same or similar truck Owen and Claire was using in the featurette and this trailer? Either way, suddenly the Atrociraptor's cage open up, with the contract men suddenly changing their focus and aiming the guns at the dinosaurs. The Atrociraptors don't seem to be attacking at this point in time, but instead they seem to be chilling for now. I'm just saying, there are 4 raptors and 4 men. There's a good possibility that the dinosaurs win this battle should it commence. We have a couple of new scenes from the Atrociraptor chase scene in Malta, and we also hear one of the Atrociraptors have the original Velociraptor sound. Could this be a nod to Velociraptor DNA being used within this creature? The chase scene then continues within Malta before we get that scene. Yes, that scene. Rest in peace, Scooter Guy. I'm not sure how he was so oblivious to a Carnotaurus and an Allosaurus running around a gaff, but his lack of awareness ends up getting him eaten from the Allosaurus. Something I honestly didn't think I'd ever see in a trailer for a Jurassic movie. Hey, I'm not complaining, that was absolutely fantastic. This Scooter Guy could have been the fan who won a contest way back in 2019 or 2020, where you were given the opportunity to be eaten by a dinosaur in the movie. How cool is that? After that, we're treated, and I do mean treated, to an absolutely cinematical masterpiece of cinematography here. We can see the Biosyn Valley on fire, and it's a bigger fire than we first thought it to be from the featurette and the first trailer. The whole place within the Dolomites is on fire. Who could have caused this? It doesn't seem natural. This must have been man-made somehow. In this scene, we see a fair few dinosaurs. Nothing new, but the dinosaurs listed are Dreadnoughtus, Parasaurolophus, Gallimimus, Brachiosaurus, and the Triceratops. After that, our first solo shot of Mamadou Afi's character, Ramsey Cole, appears. The same orange tint of the fire is on his face in this scene. As we know him to be a Biosyn worker, this is clearly happening at some sort of Biosyn facility, and you can also see some people running away in the background. After this, Ellie is talking to Claire, explaining how if the world's going to survive, it matters what they do now. They must also be in a server room with red light showing as something must have caused the failure across the building. Replays of previous scenes that we've seen soon show up before getting a greeting of a Biosyn helicopter flying through what I assume to be the Alps. This is the same type of helicopter we see flying towards the Biosyn facility in trailer 1 and above the Dreadnoughtus in the featurette. I just hope that all of this leads up to a reveal of Lewis Dodson. Alan Grant then has a go, explaining, "A baby raptor?" in a tone where he is just fed up after all of his experiences with raptors in the past. Beta is then shown off again, which confirms what Maisie, Owen and Alan were looking at in trailer 1. What I like about this scene is how Alan and Maisie are doing the hand pose, which means that Owen has taught them to do this when coming across Beta. Since Beta is pretty much the same to her mother, she'll learn and might have already have learnt that this pose means safe. After this, we see the TV spot footage of Promise and the comedic exchange is made. But what I find interesting is how disappointed Ramsey looks as he puts his hands on his hips and looks down. Clearly here, he has gone against Biosyn throughout the movie and decided to join our heroes. But it seems like Owen is trying to do one thing, to save Beta, whilst the others are doing something else, and that he might be interfering a little bit. And if you want to see more about that scene and a complete breakdown to it, feel free to check out my previous video regarding it. The Giganotosaurus animatronic is shown off as Ian Malcolm waves a stick of fire in its face. Judging by the next scene, this could be because he's distracting the Giga for the others to get away. This is because the overturned vehicle in the background is the same one we saw everyone behind when the Giganotosaurus approached in the recent images that we got. A bit more of already seen footage is shown when Kayla then suddenly says, "Everybody hold on to somebody," before the TV spot scene of the Quetzalcoatlus landing on the plane occurs. Continuing with the snowy theme, it then cuts to the Pyroraptor, where we can hear it roar like a jaguar roars, before shaking off the snow from its feathers. This then continues to show off the recent TV spot we got a couple days ago, but with a more of an extended look. Yes, the Pyroraptor dives into the water, and if you want to know why, I have it fully explained in a recent video of mine. But the scene continues and becomes slightly extended to where we then see Owen fall through the ice, and we take a look at how the Pyroraptor swims. We already see that it had webbed feet previously, but we can now also see that the Pyroraptor pushes himself through the water with its arms, which is very interesting and unique behaviour. The next scene takes place after the Giganotosaurus roars, and it contains 8 characters. From left to right we have Alan Grant, Dr. Wu for some strange reason, potentially he could be having a character arc. It's also worth noting he is holding a bag of something important inside. It can't be Beta as Beta is strapped to the back of Owen, so who knows what's going on there. And then we have Ian, Ellie, Ramsey, Owen, Maisie and Claire. Now what's interesting about this scene is where they're all facing. Not all of them are facing the same thing and direction. Alan is looking off to his right. Ramsey, Ellie and Owen are all looking straight on, whilst Maisie is looking to the left. So what I think is happening here is potentially the fight scene that we know will happen between the Tyrannosaurus Rex and the Giganotosaurus. Although that fight seemingly takes place before the fire and during the daytime, so who knows what they're looking at. Now, this next scene intrigues me a lot. Ellie asks, "What is that?" Which Alan then replies back with, "The biggest carnivore the world has ever seen." But we know this is the same scene as to where the Giganotosaurus appears. So unfortunately, I don't think he is referencing to the Spinosaurus here. But then again, I could be wrong here and they're actually editing this trailer really well to hide the Spinosaurus. But as we know, the Spinosaurus in our world is the largest carnivore to have ever lived, with Giganotosaurus in second place and the Tyrannosaurus in a very close third place. After Alan's events in Jurassic Park 3, why on earth would he say that the Giganotosaurus is the biggest ever seen, when in fact he saw the Spinosaurus living and breathing? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I have found a reason as to why. The main reason could be that within this movie universe, we already know that the Giganotosaurus wasn't just South American, but also North American according to the prologue short film. We also know that Alan Grant is studying the Giganotosaurus from images in his tent found in trailer 1. I also did a breakdown regarding that too, should you want a little bit of more information about it. So, in this universe, it could be that the Giganotosaurus was in fact larger than the Spinosaurus, larger than the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and ultimately larger than the Indominus Rex. We also know that the Giganotosaurus' DNA was used in the genetic sequencing of the Indominus, sheerly for the size growth of the creature and the design of the hybrid. And potentially the reason why they chose Giganotosaurus for the size is because the Giganotosaurus is the largest carnivore to have ever existed within this movie universe. That means the Spinosaurus is no longer the largest carnivore we see in the Jurassic franchise. How crazy is that? I know. Well, isn't that a theory and a half, eh? Alan Grant, Ellie and Owen have a very close run-in with the Giganotosaurus as it destroys a catwalk going around the Biosyn Observatory Tower, with Ellie about to slide into the mouth of the formidable creature. Suddenly, a Jurassic World reference is made here with Claire Deering screaming "Run!", similar to when the Rex lost the battle with the Indominus Rex in 2015's Jurassic World. Ellie is seen in impending doom as she clings onto Owen's leg as her life literally depends on it. We see her in an immense amount of fear before it cuts to dark, and we have to wait and learn what happens next. The last scene has Owen saying, "See, it's not that bad," whilst the Giganotosaurus animatronic slowly raises his head behind him. Maisie has a look of terror on her before the Giganotosaurus crashes directly into the Biosyn Tower, breaking the glass and almost catching Owen. The last thing I want to point out here is that we never see Kayla and Ramsey together, but we know they're in the same area. For instance, in this scene we can see Kayla, but not Ramsey, when we definitely saw him with the others in a similar area within the Biosyn Sanctuary. Baby Beta is also nowhere to be seen, and she's not on Owen's back anymore, before we then witness the Giganotosaurus crash and destroy literally everything near its head within the tower. And there we have it, that's the full trailer breakdown for Jurassic World Dominion's trailer 2. Now quickly, let's take a look at this brand new IMAX poster that was released. Now I don't think that this image used within the IMAX poster has anything to do with what we're going to see in the movie, but nonetheless it's pretty cool. We have somebody holding a flare with the Tyrannosaurus Rex walking through what seems to be a ring of some sort. I'm not too sure what it is, but it is a really cool brand new official IMAX poster to say the least. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. It's taken me 31 minutes to record this, about 3 hours to script it, so it seems to be a shorter one than previously, but definitely still a long video to make, so it would mean the world to me if you do press that like button and share it around with your friends. Ultimately, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're excited for Jurassic World Dominion, as I can guarantee a lot of content to do with Camp Cretaceous Season 5 and Jurassic World Dominion is right around the corner. I say right around the corner as if I don't do it daily anyways. But most importantly, all I ask for from you guys today is to stay safe out there, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.